Alright everyone, it's time for Occult Literature, video number 172, The Witch Persecutions. Link in the description as always to my edition of this work on Amazon, second and third links to my books, blogs. This is a compilational text. It's not a standalone book. It's a booklet that contains basically academic style excerpts and obviously bibliography attached for different texts that explain sort of about the witchcraft persecutions throughout the centuries. Interestingly enough, the most interesting section is on the trials at Bamberg. Specifically the persecution there, the witch burnings and the burning times. Specifically with regards to a letter it talks about for about a page and a half at the end, which is actually from the accused to his son that was smuggled out through, I guess, a sympathetic guard or something. And it's explained, look, the executioners, the jailers, the people who accused me, they all know I'm not a witch. They all know that I'm innocent, but they're afraid. The people who accused me, they begged my forgiveness, but, they had to because they're questioned. They knew that if they refused to give info, they would be accused. The jailers know that I'm innocent, but they can't let me go. The executioners know I'm innocent, but they can't intervene. They're afraid of being persecuted. And it just shows the moral panic character, and we see this today, and this is one reason it's interesting. It's like the Satanic Panic, Red Scare, any other moral panic. What happens is that someone gets called a witch, or a Satanist, or a Nazi, or a communist, or whatever. Anyone who stands up for them and points out that that's nonsense is at risk as well. They may be targeted. And this is how a moral panic begins, and eventually it's how it ends. And it's pointed out. There were cases in the burning times where entire villages were more or less depopulated. Pretty much everyone had been accused. For the most part, they were all executed. There were only very rare extenuating circumstances that could save a person from being burned, beheaded, or drowned or whatever, depending on the time period and culture. The method of destroying a witch really was quite inventive. And it talks about, how in this one, it alludes to the fact that the witch finders were perverts. But it says, well, first we have women of good reputation strip the accused down, if they're female first, before examination stuff. So it's like, yeah, we strip them naked, and then I go in alone, totally just poke and prod them, try to draw blood from their moles and stuff. And if they don't bleed, they're the devil, basically. That's where their familiar comes to suckle. And they had these weird beliefs. It's like mostly the burning times were really a tale of inter-religious drama, within Christendom, against heresy of various forms. So they just called him a witch so they could justify killing them. Because they couldn't just say, well, this person, in a rudimentary sense, blasphemed, we're going to kill them, because they could be repentant. But if you are a witch, it says, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. So you can execute people with only the most spurious of trial proceedings. They put plants on trial. They put animals on trial. In some cases, they put corpses on trial back then. It happened. One pope put another dead pope on trial, if I remember correctly. I can't remember which pope it was. Actually propped up the dead body of his predecessor on a chair in order to cross-examine him. It's quite interesting. So this actually happened. I mean, they were weird times, but it shows, that specific passage of greatest note shows, yeah, everyone knew it was bullshit. It was being done for political and economic and religious reasons that had nothing to do with actual hysteria. It was a moral panic. And we've got that today. We've got that throughout time. There's almost never not a moral panic of some sort going on in any sophisticated culture that actually has a significant socio-political system. So again, linked in the description of my edition of this work on Amazon. Highly recommended despite its short length. Again, 50 pages. Second and third links to my books, blogs. There are a couple of other works on similar topics like Cotton Mather and Witchcraft and a few others. I do want to do more works on like Salem. I do have a few works that I intend to edit over the coming months on these topics as well. That's about all. Peace out.